booth. Only Hodor. Only Hodor here in booth. Alone. Didn't get to go to the movie because everybody else went to the movie, including Ian. Why? Ian went to the movie, but I did not, because I wouldn't want to leave the chat alone at 4 p.m. It's only Hodor. Ian should be showing up late. The movie should be getting out roughly now, and it's just me time now. I had tried to figure out a way to make the chair turn around and do a thing, but it's really hard to do when you can't see the screen. A second person would have really helped with that. Meh. Other than Rhythm Cafe, today we're doing the Bit.Trip, specifically Runner in the thing. And I made the tweet happen, which is great. I scrubbed out on the live notification, so anybody who got a notification on mobile saying we're playing board games, that's wrong. That's very wrong. But it's not my fault. I mean, it is. And Forge Bold, 7 months in a row, sub for Hodor time. Aw, thank you. We're gonna play, let me get the game up. Yeah. We're playing Bit.Trip, which is a game Ian hasn't, as far as I know, played yet. Corey and I played it, and we started it, which means Ian's not gonna know any of the controls when he gets here, which is good. It's a fine punishment. Looks like we were here. Play rhythm board games. I guess that would basically just be Drop Mix. Drop Mix is probably the closest to a rhythm board game you can get, huh? Hey, Ian.
Oh, sorry I'm late, guys. Would have been here before the start of the show, but some asshole stole my time stone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's not because you were watching a movie?
No, I'm actually relating events of the movie as if they occurred in my life.
That's spoilers, and I won't deal with that nonsense. I will kick you from the cafe.
It's the premise of the movie.
Is it? I know nothing of the movie, other than there's maybe a glove or a stone or something.
Have you seen the previous movies?
Some of them?
Then you would know that there are a number of stones. Hey, what are we playing today?
Bit.Trip.
Cool.
Specifically Bit.Trip Runner. We could probably turn the music for this up a little.
I think so. I was just about to say, is it on?
It is on.
Cool.
I also had to figure out how to hook up the PS4, because guess what wasn't hooked up?
Really?
Yep.
That is the worst.
I accidentally hooked up the PS3, so if you or Corey were playing video games at home, which you weren't because you were watching movies, I logged you out by accident.
You had the option? Okay.
I didn't do that on purpose, I just couldn't remember where the game was, and then I realized that I was on the PS3 and not the PS4, and to be honest, they both look pretty similar to me. These giant black rectangles behind the... Okay, so the red ones I should jump over, and the black ones I should...
They take you to the past times?
Oh no, you don't want to hit them. You don't want them to hit you. It's a bouncing ball, it's gonna hit you in the face and it'll blow you back.
Do not
also
let the things touch you, they are full of pain. Especially in the heart, that's a metaphorical touch, but it hurts just the same.
Ah.
Punch Eastwood, thank you for those 500 bits. Oops, I tripped all over these bits.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
It is on point, right?
Yes. Ha, the puns.
Ooh. And that's Nomenemis with a 31-month subscription, my favorite cafe. Now with full staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may have told them that you were going to be late for movie reasons.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
I mean, our good friend Fugu was in town and he wanted to see a film with us, and I thought, yes, I should go do that because I don't see him often. I see you guys every week, and trust me, I love being here.
I hung out with him yesterday.
Mm.
You were also there. I will point that out.
That was work, Heather.
No. The part when we weren't doing the work. Oh shoot, that was the... I forgot about the springboards. I haven't played this game in a while. Like, since, Corey and I played it here at the cafe.
My favorite part about this guy is how his body does not move when he's running.
I realized too late that I also like, I have... Oh shoot, how does springboards work again? Anyone remember?
Jump on them?
No, I think there's a specific button you push. I don't know if it's the jump button. I realized too late that I didn't bring my scarf, because I have a Bit.Trip scarf.
Oh, hey.
That I got from at PAX East, because Fangamer was selling them.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's not a jump button.
Okay.
Push up. Doop, doop. Jump for red.
Okay, so X to jump, down to kick through those bad boys.
No, down is slide.
Oh, okay.
Kicking is whatever the left button is.
Square. Ooh, we're in Mega. Oh! Rainbow Road!
No!
Ah! Oh, thank you, Noman. I appreciate that you appreciate that I see you.
Can I get a like button for my being liked button?
Super slide.
So yeah, down is slide. This is kicking.
Okay.
Up is the springboard. This is jump.
Okay.
But I'm doing
Gold.
bonus. You get all the gold to get to a bonus level. In like Duck Hunt World or wherever this is.
Oh, this is it looks like adventure.
Also, I'm pretty sure if you hold down the button longer, you jump. You stay in the air a little bit further.
Okay.
When you jump. So if you tap it, you're gonna do shallower jumps.
Good to know. Ooh, thank you. I will give this a try. Numbers!
All of them! I could have practiced this too, because I got this from my Vita.
Ooh.
I could have been like, oh, I'll just practice all the levels beforehand and show up and be like, look at me, I am so awesome at the rhythm games. I didn't do any homework, I didn't have time. Jordan, don't you dare rip my Vita. Just because it's completely unsupported system by Sony, no, it's been totally dead for years. It's a good system. You know, it's really what's probably been the final nail in the coffin for the Vita is the Switch.
Learning this jump.
I mean, if that final coffin hitting hadn't been Sony being like, nah, no one likes that anymore.
Which is a shame, because there's a bunch of Sony exclusive titles still, too, which would be nice to have portable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I bought Hatsune Miku Project Diva F on the Vita because it was part of the Golden Week sale, so it was half off.
I'm still trying to decide if I want to buy Gundam Versus. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's about rhythm.
I mean, the game's pretty good at, like, just pushing you back and having you start over really quickly.
Yeah.
Which you want in a game like this.
Okay.
Jordan also is trying to decide if he wants to buy that game.
Ooh.
I'm hoping... So, Persona 3 and 5 are dancing. I should specifically state the rhythm games.
Yeah.
Persona 3 and 5 are coming out with PS4 versions, which the Persona 4 one did not, but in Japan, they're bringing out Persona 4 Dancing All Night on the PS4 as well, which I think is interesting. I mean, I'm gonna buy them for the Vita. Probably make the office get them on the PS4 though, because it's easier to stream. I don't have to bring my PS TV in.
Yeah, which has always been a question as to whether that will work.
It should work, since they did it with the Persona 4 one, and generally the newer games do. It's the older games. You have to see if they've been whitelisted or not, which is the problem. I updated my PS TV too far to do the hack to make everything whitelisted. Whoops.
Well, there's still time with your Switch.
I wouldn't want to hack that.
I don't think that's something that's going away either, too, from my understanding.
My understanding is they can't.
Yeah.
They can't stop that hack, but I haven't looked that wholly into that either.
I mean, you can still probably do the same thing where that Sony did with the PS4, which is require new games to have the newer firmware.
That's true. I have no real reason to hack my Switch.
No.
Yet. What rhythm games have enough sound cues that you could play them blind?
There are a number actually that have been made to actually be played blind.
I mean, Rhythm Heaven's got a number of them that can. Why have I forgotten the name of? You need to kick those.
Yep, I was trying to remember. Wait, which button is it? Square.
Yeah. What was? Shoot, why can't I remember? Space Channel 5. I would say you could probably.
Oh, definitely. But I think you're missing out a lot on that game if you're playing blind.
I'm kind of maybe going with someone who can't help that part.
Good point. It's still worth playing, though. I'd say the music in that is just great. No, actually, you know, a lot of the plot is spoken. You still get to experience Space Michael.
Yeah.
I take it back. Space Channel 5 probably is perfect for that. And even the reverse episodes, they tell you, do your thing in reverse.
Oh man, I was listening to Aggressive Retsuko is on Netflix.
Yep.
Except it's not the 3-minute.
No.
Ones. It's like the OVA things or whatever, but they're 15 minutes. They're really good. They're different. If you're used to the 3-minute, which is just like punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline. This is more story. But I was looking at the. I wanted to hear what the voices were like in English. And then I changed it back to Japanese, but I accidentally changed it to descriptive Japanese.
Oh no!
So everything was being described by this narrator at the same time as the Japanese, and it was great.
In Japanese?
Yes.
That sounds amazing. We watched the first episode last night when Kathleen came over, but we watched it accidentally in dub.
It's
weird.
It's okay in dub. Like, there's definitely some stuff they've changed.
Okay.
It's better in Japanese, I think, because I like the voices better. I don't think the dub's particularly bad.
It just, everything felt off to me. Especially when you're dealing with Japanese office politics situations.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things that they changed up a little bit, like, at the very beginning, when the alarm goes off and she hits it, and you watched English, so she was like, "Work can bite me," right? Which I think is pretty apt for roughly what they're going for. But in Japanese, she actually says, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna count to 10, and then I'll be a model citizen."
Ugh.
Like, it's just like a little bit more got a Japanese point behind it. But I still think the English dub's not bad. I just watched so much of it in Japanese on the 3-minute shows that it's kind of weird. The boot ROM of the Switch is not updatable, read-only memory, and that is where the hack is. Huh, neat.
Yep. It's like writing the Tegra processor stuff. Damn it!
Apparently Humble Bundle has a 50% off Yakuza 0 code.
Correct. I recommend everyone get it.
Do you have an anime that you would say has a really good dub?
The only one I don't.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of dubs anymore, so it's hard for me to go with.
I also have some personal, I have some problems with dubs, artistically as well.
Every now and then I'll check what's on Netflix and I'll try something with a dub, because I've seen it before, and maybe I want it on in the background more than I really want to watch it. Orin High School Host Club I cannot stand as a dub. I tried it. It's not that it's not good. It's got the same problem I have with Little Witch Academia's dub, where the voices don't do the stereotype of the boys properly, whereas the Japanese voices do. A lot of dubs I really like are older dubs, or stuff that I saw dubbed first as like a kid. So like Slayers has a particularly good dub as far as I'm concerned. That could be nostalgia.
See, even that for me, looking back on Robotech, like, no, I don't even prefer that over Macross. I guess the only one I could say would be maybe Transformers. But even that was, I believe, created for a North American market first, so I make us pass for the dub of the Castle of Cagliostro, specifically done by Streamline. And I think that's only because they made a lot of changes to the script and really got the characters in a way that other casting of the dubs just didn't.
Which anime have you seen that has the most egregious change in dialogue between sub and dub? I mean, those are generally ones that they do more than just changing the dialogue on. Yeah. They change the they'll change cuts and stuff as well. Tokyo Mew Mew, which is known as Mew Mew Power, is pretty egregious in a lot of its stuff. Cardcaptor Sakura has a lot of cuts, but I think it mostly maintains a lot of its stuff. What's that one? Ghost Stories?
Yep, that's a...
where they just redid all the scripts anyway, because they didn't have the original at the time.
Apparently they subtitled the English dub and took it back to Japan, and it's held up as something really weird and fun for them, too.
Yeah, and I think the same's with, like, Samurai Pizza Cats is the same, where they made it more of a comedy dub. What's that one on Netflix? Glitter Force, which is a Pretty Cure redub, which is practically a redub of the kind of style that you saw in the 90s. And I only mention that I haven't actually seen the original, but I figure they probably didn't try to pretend Kyoto was all inside one convention center and was made up of replicas on a school trip. Which is what they did in the English. So I'm pretty sure it's probably not quite right.
Right, it's part of that discussion of localization versus translation. And I'm not one of those people who believes that any translation can be pure. There is always going to be some leakage of the translator's intent going into the translation. But I really like listening to the Japanese language. I like hearing the acting of the Japanese voice actors. I think that the people that are often cast as voice actors in dubs are not as good as the people in the originals. That's a value judgment on my part. That's not a indictment of your particular feelings on which you prefer. But that's me. That's why I don't do dubs.
I think because there's a difference between cultures, it can be hard to necessarily get the voices to be like in the same vein. I think you can get something similar or something that meets maybe the localization need, but not necessarily the right thing. Like Little Witch Academia, Susie doesn't really have. We don't have that kind of character type in North American media, and so it's hard to get a voice actor to do that, I think.
And I think, like, I've noticed someone just mentioned in the chat there, because I glanced over for completely the wrong reasons, saying that some Japanese humor doesn't translate at all.
It's true.
And that's very true.
Especially puns.
Yeah.
Because their wordplay is different than ours, just because their language is different.
But that's one of those areas where because I've spent so much time studying the Japanese culture and a little bit of time studying the language, I'm accepting of the research I would need to do to get those puns and the delayed gratification, I guess.
I don't care much for comedy, or I guess there's a specific kind of comedy within anime I don't typically care for as much. So when they do a lot of wordplay, I don't. If I have to think too hard about it to get it, then it loses the moment, right? The moment is past, which is fine. I do know that the translations of some of the subtitles of stuff we watch are a bit different, because Beach will sometimes notice and point out that, oh, they said this and not quite this, and it's like the same meaning, sort of, but it's slightly different. But at the same time, they probably went with the better translation of what that is when you consider the market. Right.
So here's one of my favorite examples that I'm jumping onto right now, is in Yakuza 6. They keep in that game. We're constantly dealing with the triads, or what I'm assuming might be the triads, or might just be a different group entirely. I need to look into this. But the Chinese organized crime group. Now, I speak enough Japanese to hear them. Every time they're talking about the Chinese mafia, they're literally saying Chugoku Mafia, literally Chinese mafia. But the subtitles translate that as triad. And I wonder if that's just for American audiences who might not understand that there is a Chinese mafia, or that there's a connection.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it always throws me off, because I hear them saying one thing and reading a translation of another, and it always just throws me off. Throws me out of the suspension of disbelief. Yeah!
Oh, well, you got further. Torrent says the triads are just the Chinese mafia.
Okay.
It might just be easier for people to understand if they say that.
Yeah.
It also might just be that if you translated it as Chinese mafia, we might think that they're being silly, like they're not giving the actual name.
Yeah.
Talking to someone who won't recognize the wording when they hear it.
But yeah, it's one of those very easy ones to figure out, and it seemed unnecessary.
I mean, their language isn't structured the same as ours as well, right? So that probably has to get taken into account when people are doing them.
Yeah.
I don't work in translation. I only know stories I've heard and assumptions I've made. And that one Persona 4 minigame thing where you work as a translator part-time. Yeah.
That's a jump.
There's in Persona 4, one of the part-time jobs you can do is to translate script, and you get money for doing that. And every now and then a question shows up where it's like, "Oh, this part seems really hard. Do you literally translate it, or are you going to translate it so you get the gist of what's going on?" And I don't think either one of them is necessarily wrong in terms of which option you pick.
I think it depends on the audience, and this is one of the other issues I have, is it does depend on the audience. And I, as an audience, I know I have a certain amount of knowledge, culturally, languagely, and I prefer to do the work to understand cultural context and not have the narrative changed based on a misunderstanding or a lack of understanding of something. But I understand that's not always the case. A lot of media is translated to be understandable by the greatest amount of people with the least amount of effort. And that's a choice that you're making as a translator. Or a localizer, however you want to put it.
Also, there's a black cube coming up after that part. You duck under those.
Cool.
You jump on the reds.
I hope this isn't frustrating everyone else watching. Because I'm having fun.
I just figured we have fun and we chat.
Yep. Problem is, it's hard for me to
do the chatting part.
Well, specifically doing the reading of the chatting part. And also the chatting part. So let's be honest.
It really bugs me when translators, usually fan servers, sometimes official ones, completely whiff on a line. I was watching something where earlier today where a character called out Sukiyari, which is gotcha, and Summer mistook it for Englishing the word scary, which is just wrong to begin with, but it also doesn't make sense in context. Ooh.
Yep, that's
yeah. I admit when I notice. If I'm reading a subtitle and I notice that it's really off or it doesn't have the same kind of context of what actually the situation is doing, I do kind of get pulled out of the story and I get really pissed off. Especially if I really like the show.
Okay. Can tell we're getting to the end.
I was listening to an interview with a podcast interview with Suda51 today, and I thought the interview style was interesting because he's speaking in Japanese, and so the way they've edited it is when he starts talking, he speaks, and then after the first couple of words that he speaks,
they cut him with the translator?
No, they lower his volume so you can hear him in the background, but then they have the translator over top. And I thought it was weird because it was like the person would say things and then you hear him go, yes, arigato, and then he would start his thing. And the guy that was translating would not say the thank you part. He just went into the rest of the answer. And I was like, I wonder if that's because it's considered recognizable enough that to cut down on time a little bit, they just pulled that out.
Yeah, interesting. Oh!
No!
You may have, if you don't mind, could you forward me the link to that one? Because
yeah.
I really enjoy Suda51's stuff.
Let me see if I still have that on my phone.
Ah. Mr. SVD, I'm sorry about the Norwegian subtitles for the Avengers. But I guess that's a problem, is that you, whenever you're
There, I texted it to you.
Thank you.
For those of you curious, it's the Nintendo Power podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's the latest episode.
Wow, I would have never. No, yep, you're right, because he programs.
He's they're interviewing him about Travis Strikes Back, which is the new game that's coming out.
Which is good because I am very interested in that. That's one of the things that may eventually get me to buy a Switch.
I was not, because I didn't really know anything about the game, and then I listened to the interview because I was like, oh, well, I am curious about. I like listening to interviews with Japanese developers, and I was like, oh, okay. This is a game I never saw because I missed it. Sounds interesting. Maybe I'll at least check it out. Maybe we can do New Day Tuesday or something.
I mean, if I have the option, I will totally do that. That was a hole?
Recently, I learned it's Suda Go Ichi.
Yep.
Or Suda 51.
Suda Go Ichi.
Suda 51. I mean, English-wise, everyone refers to him as Suda 51. The interview only just called him Suda-san.
Yeah.
It's not, because I assume, I don't actually know where that comes from.
Yeah. See, Goichi is probably what his name actually is.
Yeah.
But he writes it as 51 because Goichi is 5-1 in Japanese. If it was 51, it would be Jugoichi. But I think it's just a play. I think he's having fun with the words. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever asked him.
Can tell you. I actually only just started listening to the podcast for like nostalgia reasons because the guy who runs it was an editor for Nintendo Power.
Oh, which one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm bad at names.
It wasn't Harold, was it?
Maybe it says in the description. Chris Slate?
Okay, I do not know him.
I think.
Goichi Soda.
Oh, wow. They have good notes. Not only do they tell you what the episode's about, they give you timestamps.
So, Corvus, I know that's his Japanese name, but when the name is, I don't want to say Romanized, I mean digitized, I guess? How does he go about pronouncing the digitized name, and does he make a difference for English or other speaking countries?
Don't know. Subtitles?
Subtitles?
I don't know, it's a word that people are saying in the chat.
Oh, I think that might be like subtitles that are just literally the dub
Oh, the
lines.
subtitles from the dub lines?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, those can go straight
those I
to
don't
hell.
like. That doesn't help me because sometimes I like putting on the English dub and putting on the Japanese subtitles and seeing how really different they are.
Like, I mean, that
And I can't do that if they're the same.
dub titling is literally, you're taking all of the compromises you have to make a dub work, like matching lip flaps and further localizations for people who aren't willing to read Japanese subtitles. and then just making them the subtitles. So
Yeah.
you're doing the worst possible thing.
That doesn't sound like that's even worth doing. Yeah. No!
Oh!
I know that for like the Phoenix Wright anime, sorry, the Ace Attorney anime, the fan subs did proper subtitles, but then they also did subtitles where they changed all the names to what the games had them in English, and did the dumb things of like referring to the ramen bowls as like hamburgers and stuff. And well, I think it's actually really funny. The only reason I watched that one as opposed to the original is because I'm really not used to the Japanese names of those characters.
Yeah.
And so it really actually just messed me up and I couldn't keep track of who was who.
I think that's probably a reason why they did it.
But I did actually find it really funny when they would literally show bowls of ramen and refer to them as, not outright hamburgers, I think they referred to them as hamburger ramen, or something really dumb. And I mean, that's a joke that's based on if you're a fan of the games and know that.
And that's the thing, I think if you're a fan of those games, you're a certain type of weeb. I don't know that those games got as popular with the mainstream populace as
No,
other things.
I mean, I'm gonna guess not, given that they won't bring out the other ones that I want.
Is everyone still okay with this level?
Wait, that wasn't just the fan subs, that was the official Crunchyroll? Oh, well. I mean, I call it Phoenix Wright video games because, so they did that. Capcom originally called them Phoenix Wright, whatever, and then at some point they realized that, well, Phoenix Wright is the main character, he will not always be the main character, and so they changed the title to Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just, do the Japanese thing and give it a name that was generic enough that it could stand on its own.
Probably didn't know. Like, I think when it came out over here, 3 games already existed, and he was the main character in all of them. Because they were doing the DS re-releases, because that game originally came out on the Game Boy Advance.
Yep. In Japan, with an English version. Oh, no, in the DS version had the English translations.
And then they brought out Apollo Justice. Ruined their naming scheme. I feel like you're still enjoying this, Ian.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I am. This seems like a fun game.
It's just kind of annoying that you have to go so far to get to the point where you're lost, but it's not... I don't feel like I'm being punished, and I don't feel like I'm doing badly.
I mean, that's really important in a game like with what it's doing, where you have to start over. It has to have a good feel to it.
Yep. I just wish I could have Mega a little sooner.
I do really enjoy the point when you get the rainbow from behind you, and everything's like, look at me, I'm amazing.
Watch me command video, for I am Commander Video.
I mean, I figure we have to get through this so that we can play the second one, which is a side story.
Oh.
Is my understanding.
Because there's...
I went reading the wiki.
I was going to say, because there's such a deep plot so far.
Runner 2 is supposed to be a side story, is my understanding. And then Runner 3 is a proper sequel, which is coming out soon. In May. When you're gone. Any idea if the Anno Annie Sony problem will get resolved? I believe Graham is working on that. It may not. I don't know what we're doing with that yet. The nice thing, though, is because it seems to be a video issue, you can still listen to the episode on iTunes.
Yep.
So, there's that.
And it's Kill la Kill. I mean, we can... Or not Kill la Kill.
It was Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah.
It was Darling in the Franxx that got us.
Yeah, Darling in the Franxx gave us a nasty no-no from YouTube. Or Sony did.
Sony Music Entertainment, specifically.
Yeah. So I guess they hold the rights in North America to that?
I couldn't figure it out. I tried looking, and it looked kind of more like they distribute, at least in Japan, they distribute the music.
Mm.
But we don't have any music.
Nope.
Ours has to be a visual claim because there's no way that
my words about Darling in the Franxx are copyright by Sony.
Yeah. Well, and I went and listened back to the original file, and there's no, like, we didn't have an accidental thing where music played or anything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I mean, there was I posted it in our Slack too, but there was a guy who...
Oh, the guy who put up the 10 hours of white noise and got copyright claimed by, like...
10 different places.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're trying to get that resolved. It might take a little time. I guess worst case we might have to, like, do something to the video and re-upload it, which will suck.
Which is a shame, because I was so happy that Chris Sims talked to me about that. About the cat that looks like Chris Sims. I hope to hear him talk about it on Save Our Business sometime.
Don't have iTunes or Apple or anything.
You don't need iTunes to subscribe to the iTunes feed. Any standard podcatcher will do.
Yeah.
Like if you're on iOS, get Overcast, and we're in there.
It means they don't have Apple anything. I don't think they have iOS.
Okay.
Do you know a Windows thing?
Any podcatcher except for Stitcher. Never use friends. Don't let friends use Stitcher. And I'll clarify that because Stitcher is one of those companies that's trying to ruin podcasting by injecting more data mining from it.
Oh. So
they're doing the whole, like, collecting data on where you're stopping, how far you're listening through podcasts, and sending that information back to advertisers who are trying to ruin podcasting by monetizing it harder. The podcasting sphere has managed to become very healthy without any sort of need for deep analytics, the way that some advertisers seeming to demand.
We don't have RSS links? I don't know.
We should have some on the page. I'd say...
like, if you probably go to the website and you look at the podcast section, you can probably just click on it, and it might take you to a thing. But I don't really know how any of that works in that regard.
If you're still having trouble finding it, hit me up on Twitter at iHorner, and I can, or ihorner@tiltyhouse.com, and it's an email, and I can help you out with the feed there. I believe in RSS, and I believe in open podcasting.
I mean, I say iTunes because it's what I use.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure you can find that podcast not on iTunes.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we host it off of iTunes.
I guarantee you can. simply because of Overcast.
Oh, there we go. Richards has posted a direct link in the
Thank
chat.
you, Richards. Doing my work for me. Didn't hold it long enough.
Yeah, chat's been very helpful. We've got the RSS feed in there now. Cool. Good job, chat.
Y'all are good people.
I mean, I feel like I've already overextended myself by trying to figure out how to turn on the PS3, then realizing it wasn't a PS4, and then having to hook up the PS4 and figuring out how that gets turned on, because the buttons don't look like buttons to me, and I'm just like, I have a black box that's supposed to light up somehow.
So here's the thing about the PS4 too, is that you will never, as a PS4 owner, you will never ever learn which button of the two is eject and which is power.
They just don't want you to be using discs anymore.
Yeah.
They want you to download everything, don't they?
They are, yeah. And I wish I could do that, but I do like having physical things sometimes.
I prefer to get my games physically, mostly because it's easier for me to bring them to the office to play.
Right.
Then. But also because if I really don't like it, I can sell it. And then also because I don't trust that servers will last forever.
That's the other thing. Like, that's why, as long as there's a robust piracy scene, making sure to keep backups of all these online-only games, then I'm okay with not having a physical copy. Like, so in 20 years, when I want to play the PS4 version of the Yakuza 2, per se, I'll be able to go out and download that from somewhere.
And in 20 years, when I still want to play Pokemon typing, I will still have Pokemon typing. Yes, I did hear that they were making a Shirobako movie.
Yes.
I did not know it was going to be a proper sequel, though.
Okay, now here's my
So
question.
that's cool.
This is the question I asked Beej yesterday when I found out about this. Is it going to be and if they don't do this, how much of a misstep will it be? Is it going to be about that crew of animators making a movie?
See, I believe, so Beej asked me this after, because he said you had this conversation, so I've had thought. I believe what I want them to be doing is, yes, make a movie. I want them to make the movie that they were planning to make in high school.
Okay, yeah.
Because now they're all there, they have the budget to do a thing, and they have staff to make the thing that they wanted to make originally.
My belief
is what I'm hoping they're gonna do.
Yeah. My belief is that it's going to be a movie of the series they were working on. My hope is that it's an
Which
Andy's, the Fighter Girls.
Ah, okay.
My belief is that it's, or my hope is that it will be an Andy's Chucky movie.
I have a small label on my PS4 that points out to the eject button.
That is smart.
Best bit of DIY I've ever engaged
But
in.
that is bad design when you have to do that. Like, I've heard people say, oh, it's always the button that is closest to the disc insert is the eject button. They're both equally close to the disc slot.
Yeah, no, I looked. It's like when I do stuff in Studio C, and it's like I have to turn on the one TV, and I'm next to the TV, so I don't want to go get the remote. Where the heck did they put the button on this TV? Because some of them have it fully behind, some of them have put it on the side, and one of the other ones has it in a different spot too. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go get the remote because I can't figure out where the button on this TV is.
And one of those buttons is a button that is an omni button that is both the four-way D-pad, the select button, and the power button in one.
Yep.
It's the worst.
Yep. Technology. It's so unclear.
Technology's great. People who put technology together into bad pieces, those are the bad people. It's like someone deciding, oh yeah, you know the ignition switch for your car? That should go next to the gas, like the gas cap. Because that's, it's related to gas.
Ace Shadow 132 is a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. We don't always play rhythm games or knock down on technology, but when we do, it's Rhythm Cafe.
Oh no.
I kind of like these games where we get to chat a little bit.
Deep philosophical discussions and also sometimes some rhythm gaming. Those are the best episodes. Wait, no, the best episodes are where we get to be drum wives and perfect boys. Second best episodes are the one where we do.
You know what? You know what, Ian? I know some people haven't watched Anno Annie because it's not been on YouTube, but even though I was down about some of my picks, they have turned out to be really good, and I'm really happy that I'm watching them. I
have not been wrong about any of my picks. I've been disappointed a bit in some of them, but they're all still really good.
And Lupin the Third is I'm so glad there's more Lupin.
It's really good.
And I'm so glad it's this one. And I'm so glad it's... the Italy one was fine, but I'm glad we're not doing more Italy.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely glad we're not doing more of that weird owl Fujiko thing.
That was a story that needed to be as long as it was, and no longer.
But the new Lupin, I'm so happy with. I'm so happy with so much anime this season. Now that I've actually properly started watching it, and I've had some downtime to feel like I can actually watch it.
I still feel like Megalobox is... It's unfair that Megalobox exists. There are so many good series this season, and... sorry, go ahead.
Tadakun, the one I was talking about with the European girl in the photography club. In the cafe, the main male character is... his family owns a cafe, and he works at it sometimes. And while they're in there doing stuff, and they're all like, oh yeah, we'll help you work out, one of the customers who sits down at the bar is Go-Go 13.
Awesome.
For no reason. And he's into the samurai show, or the shonen show.
Of course
and he's just like, yes. And it's great. He almost never says anything. And I like the fact that he's just in the background the entire time. Did you play Runner 3 at PAX East? Of course I did. I played so many rhythm games at PAX East. And then I got sick. That's what happens when you play video games at a gaming convention.
Go to PAX, do not touch anything.
Just look with your eyes.
You. Yep.
I mean, that's probably not actually what made me sick. What probably made me sick was coming back from Boston, which was super cold, and then going for like a 4-hour Pokemon walk out in the cold in Victoria and not being properly dressed. That's actually probably what got me sick. What show with Europeans? It's called... the English title for it is like Tadakun Doesn't Fall in Love or something.
No!
But if you just like Google Tadakun, T-A-D-A, Kun, you'll find it. You're gonna get there, Ian. It's gonna be fantastic.
Until then, I'll keep doing this.
And Wotaku's been really good.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of that. I don't know if it's for me, but it's good. It also has yaoi legs.
Yes.
Yeah, the animation's not...
It's not what I would call like super stellar animation or anything like that. But if you're into like the romance genre of anime, it seems pretty good in that regard. That's
also partially why I'm also not disappointed, but sad that Megalobox is out this season. It's perfect in every way. The music, the sound design, the plot, the characterization, the voices that they chose, and everything is just spot on all the time. And it's not fair to every other good show that's out this season.
I'm just happy we've got, like, everyone seems to have something this season. Right? Like, because generally there'll be, like, a season where it's like, be just very happy because horse anime is out or something. And then the rest of us are like, eh.
That was last season for me. There was literally, I think,
like
one show. And
then there'll be other seasons where it's like, oh, there's like a thing that you and Corey are really into. Yeah. And Beej and I are like, good enough, whatever. But this season seems to be really strong for, like, anybody who's got anything they like. I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I'm finding Hina Matsuri okay. I'm not... When Beach likes an anime because it's funny, it's typically not an anime I enjoy in the same way.
Yeah.
Hina Matsuri is not so bad though because it has more of a story to it than a lot of that stuff does, so I think I'm liking it okay. I have two types of anime I watch with Beach. The stuff that we both really love together, and the stuff that he likes, but I don't mind so much. But I'm not really watching it because I want to watch it, I'm just watching it because I want to hang out with him, and we've run out of the combination stuff that we both really love. And then there's the stuff that I don't stick around while he's watching because it really bugs me in one way or another. And then there's like the stuff that I watch on my own because I know he's not into it, and he'll just fall asleep. So there's no point.
I think there's enough TV in general this season that Corey and I have just overloaded with stuff. Handmaid's Tale this season is so good.
Oh yeah?
I don't think that you'd like it. It's
That's fair.
very difficult to watch because there is a lot of abuse of people and yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I couldn't watch Westworld.
Yeah, and it's...
I tried, because it's got a lot of good stuff in it, but I couldn't
shows like Westworld and Handmaid's Tale are the best examples of very good, but definitely not for everyone.
I can deal with that stuff better when it's animated, because I'm not watching real people. I can separate it a little bit better. But even then, I only like having like one dark show a season if I can do it.
And generally, that's Fate.
Fate, Made in Abyss.
Oh yeah.
Was that one? The Children of Wales, which I still have to finish because Beach has finally decided he can't, which is fine. I just wish he would have decided that sooner so I could have finished watching it. Now I have to remember how things worked. Erased, which isn't like super dark, but still kind of has those kinds of things.
Oh yeah, super triggery.
I'm trying to remember. The Magus' Bride.
Magus' Bride. Yep.
I was fine with like most of it, but I really almost noped out during the end when she was having she has like this memory flashback. Not flashback, she's reliving this memory because of a reason. And the abuse thing from her mom and the stuff that happens, I almost had to nope out on because like it was inching towards real life fears for me, and I can't deal with that. And I will not deal with that in my fictional worlds.
That's fair.
Have you considered a stuff we will not watch section in Anno Annie, or would it be too long list of a series?
No, I think it's
more we want to talk about stuff we have been watching and want to watch.
Yeah.
There's we don't review everything that comes out in the season because there are a million things that come out in the season. And then it would just be a lot of, well, that's a thing that we don't care about.
I think the hope is that you as the fans can figure out what sort of things we like based on what we're constantly recommending.
Yeah, like I know there are people who listen to the show who don't like any of the things that we pick. Or
are confused when we don't pick things that they like.
Yeah, or we don't have the same tastes as them. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything about that. because I like what I like, and I'm going to talk about the things that I like. But what I like to do with like video game reviews and things is listen to people who like things that I like and also like different things that I don't like. And depending how they talk about them gives me an idea of whether or not I want to actually check that out.
And that's really it too, is that it's not that I'll never watch something, it's that I know it's something that I have fairly good indication that it's something I'm not going to like, so there's too much good stuff out there that I don't feel like wasting my time on things that I don't like, but I do listen to my friends when they recommend something to me.
Yeah, I generally check out like 1 or 2 episodes of something that you and Corey talk about, and then from that I can be like, nah, no, not in for the long haul of that, or oh, hey, this is actually not that bad. Well, I mean, just watching JoJo. That was a thing that was never supposed to happen.
Yep.
I watched some JoJo, which,
I was amazed I was able to get him into that. And that
through a video game.
And that he was able to keep it from me for so long.
Yeah, he's not really generally the type to keep that as a secret.
Yeah. But yeah, I even avoided JoJo for a long time. It's no secret. I started watching JoJo with Stardust Crusaders, and I was watching the first episode as a hate watch. It was a case of like, oh, it's this new crazy meme anime that everyone has jokes about. It's coming out with the weird posing and the stuff that's stupid. Well, I guess I'll see how stupid this show is. And then by the end of that 30 minutes, I was hooked. But yeah, if you're interested in the sort of things we don't generally like, I
like Kettle Fishman's like, if you were all like Fujoshi like in taste, that'd be a problem, but it ain't, so that ain't be the case. And I think they're just trying to make a rhyme, because there are some things that I watch that I enjoy but I don't talk about, because it's more of like, I like this, but I think it's like super problematic and I don't want to get into that, or it's not a show I would recommend to anyone unless you have a very particular taste, and I just don't want to have that conversation. Well, like the guilty pleasure, whatever, even though I don't consider them guilty pleasures, it's just I don't want to necessarily share that one.
And there's some discussions that I would like to have with people where I assume a certain amount of understanding on their part, and where they're coming from and why they want to talk about things, which is why I don't often talk to people about Darling in the Franxx and Kill la Kill, because those have some very I'm just gonna say they have some problematic fans, because the shows themselves are they're difficult to. Yeah. I still think you can be a fan of a thing and not be part of the fandom. Yeah. Right? Yes,
you do not have to be a part of the fandom. Some fandoms are great, others have issues, and that's okay. But like, I'm watching, I need to watch more of it, but I'm probably gonna end up dropping it. What's it called? Shoujo Maho Ore, which is about a girl who becomes a magical girl by joining the Yakuza.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, and which sounds great as a premise, and I don't even mind the whole thing of like by being that, what she turns into is a macho man in a magical girl outfit. But there's some stuff in it that shows attitudes towards gender that I don't particularly like.
Yep.
Which is why I never brought that up on the podcast.
So we don't have time to talk about that sort of thing when we're, we've got 5 minutes per person per episode, or per show. Yeah, I think that's something we should also reiterate to people, is that Anno Annie is not a great place for us to give in-depth discussion about the shows that we like.
No.
It's really just sort of a heads up.
It's more of a very easy way for us to be like, you want to know what thing we're looking forward to and what thing we watched last time briefly? Here you go.
Many people ask that, and so here's that answer for you. You know what? I think it's time for us to take a quick break.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're at that point, and I'm starting to see through time.
Yeah. Is the screen just like moving slowly to the left all the time for you now?
Yep.
Yeah, video games will do that.
Yep.
We're gonna take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Don't go away. More anime chats after this. But that's getting cut out of the VOD.
Yes, because our VODs cut really well on Axe Hand.
Mm-hmm.
I know which VODs not to even bother throwing in Axe Hand sometimes now.
Yeah.
I've gotten really good at it.
It's not the fault of the people doing it either, but
no.
These weird technical issues.
I mean, there was one time where I was just like, okay, this thing. Wait, that's weird. There shouldn't be 3 files for this day. Oh, now Twitch went down, and there's no point in throwing that in the Axe Hand. I need to do that one manually. Well, throw that in this folder for later.
Get the goal, slide around. Don't know why I'm not always sliding. Probably because I can't kick. Yup, can't kick when you're sliding. So you gotta stop sliding sometimes.
In order to kick, you need to have one leg kind of standing for you to kick. Kind of hard to do when they're not on the ground. Mechanically, within this game. I guess as a human being, you can kick and slide at the same time, maybe.
Like, I would think that a slide is a kick of its own.
Like a low kick.
You're still impacting with your foot.
Is there any kind of, I don't know, fighter type game where Commander Video is a fighter character?
He should be in Smash.
He seems like he could be a character that would do the fighties.
In fact, it's a crime that he's not in Smash.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that.
Nintendo, you're cowards until Commander Video's in Smash. I mean, hey, E3, we might be.
Yeah, there's always a chance of that. Commander Video is in Meat Boy, and Meat Boy is in Runner 2. Huh.
Nope, I was trying to slide kick that UFO.
Are we allowed to talk about how there's a new Smash coming without a giant burning logo behind us that we can stare at in fear? Like, is that not a thing that has to happen now every time you talk about Smash?
I think that's just the Inklings.
I mean, you would be afraid too if you lived in a world full of color and paint and suddenly everyone wants to beat you up from this other side of a portal.
Hold on a second here. Here's a question. Was there ever a Metal Gear game for the for a Nintendo system?
Weren't the Metal Gear games on like Game Boy or something?
The Solid games. Yeah, because yes, of course, the original Metal Gear was on at the NES.
I don't know. I never really played those.
I'm trying to think of the justification for putting Solid Snake into Smash.
I mean, I guess chat could tell us, although I was really tempted to text Graham and ask him out of the blue.
The reason being is because I would like to find a justification for Kiryu to be in, or better yet, Majima to be in Smash.
Twin Snakes was GameCube remake of Metal Gear Solid 1.
Okay.
GameCube had a Metal Gear. So let's just say yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's fair then. So we need some sort of Yakuza game on a Nintendo platform before we can get a Yakuza. Majima.
I personally think they should put one of those Yakuza games on the Switch, mainly because I think Beach would really enjoy them, but he won't play them unless they're on the Switch, because we don't have PlayStation, which is fine. We don't need one.
Because Beach doesn't play games that aren't on Nintendo systems.
Well, I mean, I would play games on it. I've got like a list. I could play Journey, which I hear is fantastic, and they never brought to the Vita, which is annoying for me. I could, and before anyone recommends that I can play games at the office, it's again, no.
No, that's...
There's not enough time for the time I'm not at the the time I'm at the office, I'm working, and the thing is in use. The time that I'm not at the office and the thing's not at use, I'm sleeping or streaming at home.
What's more, let's like any of you who have a job, imagine going, hanging out at your job for a longer time to, play video games there. Would you do that?
Oh goodness, no. No.
Like, you're not on the clock, but you're still there.
You could buy a Sony console. I did. It's called a Vita.
And a TV.
Yes, and the PS TV.
You've bought 2 Sony consoles.
I forgot I bought that as well.
You just bought the weird Sony consoles.
I bought the ones I knew I would enjoy the most. I bought the ones that would give me the Persona 4 Dancing All Night game. I literally imported a pink and black Vita because I wanted one that I would enjoy. And so I had to get one that was Japanese for reasons that make me happy. And then because I was like, oh, well, you know what I have to play? Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I've never played a Persona game ever, but I have to play the Dancing All Night game.
And now you're just into Persona.
Well, I had time before Persona 4 Dancing All Night came out. I figured it might be a good idea if I played the Persona 4 game. For story reasons. I was wrong, but it was still helpful. Wazzer3000 has subscribed for 26 months in a row. Welcome back.
To jump across that pit with the gold in it?
And I'm pretty sure I have to play Persona 3 at some point, so that I can finally play that copy of Persona Q that I have before Persona Q2 comes out, which I'll need to probably play like Persona 5 at some point for, but it's fine. By the time I play all of these games, Persona 5 will come out on a system I have. Or I'll get a system it's on, one of the two.
Isn't Persona 5 already announced for the Vita? Or not the Vita, the Switch?
No.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that.
A lot of people would like it on the Switch.
Maybe it was a good dream I had.
I'm in favor of this. A lot of people I know want it on the Switch because they want it on a portable console, because RPG games work really great for portable consoles for grinding and whatnot. But I mean, if they put it on the Vita, I'd be just as happy. Borrow the work PS4. That seems like work. It's fine, I got enough of a backlog for other stuff anyway. Borrow one of Paul's, he'll still have 3. Maybe. I've got so many other games to play that to me it's not like a high priority that I haven't played 5 yet.
Yup. Too many games.
Besides,
okay.
Besides, by the time it comes out, so what'll happen is it'll come out again in like 20 years or 10 years or however long it takes the re-release to happen. And then I will I'll get to play the newer, better version that has like the whatever extra thing in it. Because that what Atlas do. They re-release the game and it has an extra little fun part.
Well, that's literally what they did with this. Remember, these were all games on a Game Boy, and then also the Wii. Tops. Everything must be re-released now every 5 years. That seems pretty accurate, Tactus Vigil. Cuttlefish Man wants to know if Beach has a copy of Drill Dozer. We're thinking of how good that game was recently.
Drill Dozer, what's it for?
Yeah, that's a good question. Drill Dozer was for... the GBA, it looks like.
Ah, then I wouldn't know, because I don't know what's in his in the older game collection.
His backlog.
Well, like if it's a newer game, then I know what we have. Mm-hmm. If it's an older game from that era, then I'm not sure, because I know we have some stuff, but I've never gone digging.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Shadow Scythe brings up an interesting question. At what point do we reach critical mass for remakes, remasters, where no one makes any new games anymore? They just polish and update old ones. I'm using it as a jumping off point to talk back about anime again for a second.
Oh, it's doing so good.
I was talking with Fugi about this. That this my big problem with all these new shows using digital as a as their basis, and the whole move away from pen and paper animation in the future, in general. Mm-hmm. And that this is the biggest problem I have with digital animation, is that it's as good as it's ever going to look right now. There's no way to remaster a digitally made series like that without actually going back and completely remaking it. So that's why we have such a problem. That's why we're able to take shows like the original Star Trek series and give it a Blu-ray re-release and remaster it, and it looks so much better because everything's cleaner and sharper, because it was on film, and you can actually you can increase the resolution. And you can go a lot farther without hitting the decreasing gains. So things like the original Gundam look exponentially better now that they're on Blu-ray, because we're not having to deal with VHS artifacting and broadcast issues and broadcast resolution. But then I started seeing all those tweets going around about the remaking of what was it, Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty? And what Disney's been doing to remaster those for a Blu-ray, and they're just going in and erasing all of the film grain and redrawing things to flatten the colors out and just ruining the film. Taking all the character out of it. Ah, Cinderella, says Melody.
Yeah, I was trying to think, and I'm like, I'm not actually super caught up on what... I don't pay attention to a lot of what Disney does, actually.
Nor do I often, but... I think archival is important. They're re-releasing 2001 this year.
Okay.
For its 50th anniversary. I think it's the 50th. Might be 70th, I don't know. But, so someone put up but they're re-releasing it as a pristine print. Not remastered. They're not correcting any of the color or doing anything with the sound. And someone did a side-by-side comparison of the remastered Blu-ray edition that they put out a few years ago compared to the film version of the 70mm print. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to see what they changed. Like they did a lot of color correction, or yeah, it's correction. Not in the sense of it making it correct, but just changing it. Color grading, that's a better word. They did a lot of color grading for the Blu-ray, and it makes everything look a lot whiter. The original version has more color to it in the film.
No, I should not go for the gold.
And frankly, I think that's actually just has a lot to do with current taste in terms of film look. Mm-hmm. That we're in a period of time where people really like that clean, bright, crisp white. And crisp grays as well, with no color to them. Where there was a lot more yellow and oranges in the original version. And I think it's important to preserve those original versions as well.
Yeah, I hear a lot about archival. I listen to a lot of video game podcasts, and I hear occasionally about archival problems, mm-hmm. Especially in regards to patching and heavy online play games. Mm-hmm. Because you get those games and it's like, cool. If you never experienced them at the time, then you may never get a chance to go back and see the different design things that they did properly to really learn from that in the future. and I find the problems of it fascinating and horrifying all at the same time.
Tactus Vigil. That's one of those interesting positions. They recently watched the original theatrical version of Blade Runner, and it was okay. And yeah, that's it. It was okay. The studio got their hands on that before it was released and made some adjustments that they thought would be helpful. It was not. Yeah, I wonder if the current hatred of film grain might be due to attitudes around compression in the DVD days. Trying to fit everything onto one DVD, but if there's a lot of film grain in the version, then that's going to be hard on the compressor. Grenavit asks, is there not a value to this is what they could do at the time, as they do with black and white film? Yeah, there's always an interesting question of the balance between the intent or the idea of working within constraints and working it versus author's original intent versus the idea of, you know, the idea of what's in the show is in the show. Everything is its own self-contained thing. Dark Morphord, I've got huge nostalgia for Laserdisc, even though I never owned a player or a disc. Though I do wish I could get my hands on a copy of Lupin III Castle Cagliostro.
Which one?
The Laserdisc edition.
Okay. Sorry. I think I zoned out on that word.
No, that's all right. But that's again just me being liking to have artifacts of things that I love.
No, that's a jump.
Oh no!
Reds. There's something to be said, like, for the fact that unless maybe you're necessarily learning about something older as well, you might not have context for why that was important when it came out,
or how significant something is because it's the first time things are done. Like one of the people we work with, I don't want to name names because I don't want to out them, asked me the other day, like, should I see Citizen Kane?
Oh, right, because everybody refers to things as like, is this the Citizen Kane of
video games and that
of blah?
And they're like, but isn't it just like a super old movie? I'm like, yeah, it is actually just a super old movie, but it also did a lot of things first. Like the reason films are the way they are today is because Citizen Kane showed us that this was a good way of doing things. And it may seem old hat to us now, like, why are they doing a flashback? Well, that's because that's a good way of telling story.
Yeah, but
and it was just the first one to do it.
Flashbacks happen all the time now, so
they do. Yeah, so
it's kind of like it's not amazing that they did one.
It's nothing. Well, now it isn't. But from that perspective, seeing the first place where it was used is an important. It's important to know where things come from.
The problem is you need to know that, right? Like,
yes.
I find it happens a lot with anime recommendations where people are like, oh, this thing is amazing and stellar, and people who have seen some anime, like modern anime, will be like, oh, well, I'm looking for more stuff, and everyone talks about how I should see this, and they watch it, and it's like, it doesn't seem anything special. And it's not, but only because they don't have the context for it.
And I guess that's part of being a scholar of something, rather than just a passive viewer. It takes a specific intent to watch something critically, rather than just passively.
I like to take in something passively the first time. To be honest.
Oh yeah, no, I'm generally the same way.
If I don't like have background knowledge on a thing already, I prefer a thing I really enjoy to be like I'll do multiple passes on it anyway. And that's when I'm going to notice more things. But the first time I don't particularly want to notice every single tiny detail. That's why I get mad if Beach does and decides to pause the show and to tell me about it. Or rewind to show it to me. It ruins my flow and atmosphere of the story.
A lot of discussion here. Yeah. There would be people bringing up that, by example, this is G-Dwarf. Cowboy Bebop's dub was only above average these days, but back in the day, I mean, it had some awkward phrasings, awkward line reads to match up with lip flaps, but of the day it was astonishing.
Yeah, I remember some of the voices of that.
Yeah.
It's also one of the earlier shows I saw.
And then there's someone saying that, Cuttlefish Man saying, it's like Eva, Neon Genesis Evangelion is good, and it defines an era and subsequent robot anime, but it's really hard to appreciate without the context. That's...
It was hard to appreciate at the time without some specific context too, is my understanding, because of all the religious points and stuff that it actually makes. Or uses, rather.
The later we find out that those religious things were just complete bullshit.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about Evangelion is that it's... Or not just what makes it interesting, but one of the things that makes it interesting is that it's one of the first shows of its time that was made by fans.
Of anime.
Yeah, exactly.
Not of the show, it had not existed yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the same way that Star Wars, George Lucas was kind of like one of the first people to actually make a movie as a fan of movies.
Get to the end. No bonus.
Oh yeah, I'd love to try again. Eric DeMarco says a common problem with art is the misunderstanding of the property of density of information.
Can be.
I guess that depends on your definition of art.
Depends how you want to view it. Art changes based upon the viewer and the artist and many other things. I watched Ava when I was 16 with no context of what it was. Having only really watched Sailor Moon, Escaflowne, Gundam Wing, a little bit of Ray Earth and Slayers. I don't think I should have watched that anime when I watched it.
I don't think you had any reason not to.
I don't think I should have seen that anime when I watched it. It also turned me off the guy that I really liked.
Ooh.
Because there's a scene where you see Ava 01 move on its own for the first time, where its mouth moves into like this weird disfigured smile. And for whatever reason, my brain recognized that as a similar facial feature to the guy I'd been crushing on.
Oh.
And it was horrifying. And I was just like, well, I don't like this boy anymore.
I'm sorry.
Which is
wow.
fine. He turned out to be a jerk anyway. So, One Cold Canuck has resubscribed for 7 months in a row saying, Citizen Kane is the Citizen Kane of reference items.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Whoa. How do I do that? I guess you can jump kick.
And then I married him. No, I didn't actually know Beach yet at that time. Astonishingly enough, I got into anime without meeting Beach. I met Beach because of anime, not the other way around. Ooh, I think you're in a boss fight.
I think yeah, the word boss flying by the screen several times also told me that.
Possibly an indicator.
Yeah! Jump kick!
fact, I remember going to, I was in the anime club Beach ran. Did not know he ran it, because he didn't say anything to anyone. He just, like, watched stuff at the front. And then, I went to Anime Evolution in Vancouver. I think, like, the second time? Yeah, the second time, because the first time I went without friends, and the second time I went with friends. And the friend I was with, who was also in the same anime club, saw Beach up on stage during the opening ceremonies, and was like, "That's the dude who runs our anime club!" And I was like, "You're wrong! Nobody runs our anime club. Our anime club is run by a ghost. We go in, we never see anyone set anything up, we watch anime, and we leave. And no one knows." Just this goof in Canadian pants and well, no, wait, he didn't have the Canadian pants then, did he? In the weird Canada hat? He can't be running our anime club. That's weird.
That would be...
I don't even know how my friend recognized him.
I guess because maybe he was not looking at her and then he was. Ooh, sine waves. I mean, square wave. They're waves! I'm making waves!
Heck, I even watched his improv before I dated him.
I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, it obviously didn't turn you off completely, so...
I only make fun of it because when I listen to the friendshipping podcast, the thing that comes up the most is like, don't make your friends go watch your improv.
Yeah. We were good, but yeah, don't watch us.
I think one of the friendshipping postcards actually has like a thing on it about improv. Like an apology for making you come to my improv or something. Can't remember. This boss fight's really neat.
Yeah. Oh!
I mean, it kind of just suddenly told you that you can jump kick.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, that's how you damage this boss. Oh yeah, so speaking of archival and online games, because I'm researching stuff to fix up my Dreamcast, one of the things I found out was there's people who make a modem emulator for the Dreamcast with a Raspberry Pi. So you just plug a USB modem into the Raspberry Pi and then plug that into your Dreamcast, which all came with a modem. And it will run servers for, or allow you to work as a gateway to connect to servers for certain online Dreamcast games, like Phantasy Star Online and other ones.
Cool.
Some of those games just don't do anything without the online portion.
Wait, there are games on the Dreamcast that won't let you play them unless you can go online?
Yep. The Dreamcast was ahead of its time in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but it didn't have to be ahead of its time in one of the bad ways.
Well, I mean, it was an MMO RPG. So,
oh, okay. Yeah. You're not referring to like that thing that they tried to make happen where it's always online.
Oh yeah, no, it was not a copy protection management. It was just there is no game without the online.
Okay. That's... I mean, that I can at least understand, because there's a lot of MMOs and they don't have a game if you don't have the online, but... I will not forgive a company for online only. Hey, Adam.
PSO PogChamp. Adam, once I get the Dreamcast up and running, I will definitely have to bring it in for you to do a stream with that. Bork. I don't want to say aliens, but
kind of looks like just like a little. Oh wow, getting really close to you so you have less reaction time is interesting. kind of looks like one of those clear... Oh, you jumped into it.
Yep, I touched him.
You never touched them.
Nope, not with your not feet.
We call it a head.
I mean, Heather, the part of my body that isn't my feet is more than my head. And you can take that to the bank.
You slammed into it with your fist, though, Ian.
I keep not jumping low enough there.
That's right. Adam would never steal anything except for people's hearts, because he's secretly one of the heart thieves from Persona 5. But don't tell him I told you, because you don't need to. He's watching.
Yeah. And don't take my word for it. Take hers.
I mean, I don't have a subsection of the show called
Heather's House of Lies.
Is Heather telling a lie or not? Because that subsection of the show is called Is Ian Lying or Not? And Ian's House of Lies. So they don't know whether or not. They should totally just trust me.
Early jumps. Super.
Ultra. Extra. Hyper. Down the hole. Into the black hole. Ultra. Extra. Oh man, I started playing Miitopia again on my own the other day, and I totally forgot some of the people I'd put in it and some of the things that I had made them say. And I have Adam in there, and he yells bodied, and I forgot, and it's great.
Bodied!
Also, he's a flower, which is a heal type character, but he's very supportive of of everybody in the RPG group. It's great. Adam, I put you in my video games sometimes, and I don't know if I tell you I do, but you're there.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time here, and then I'm gonna hand it over to you for fun. Boss, 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 boss. Boss, 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 boss. Give this a try. I think you're gonna like it.
No. Extra U game.
Thank you, Grenadil and Rock Pusher, for both those bits. Rock Pusher saying this has been a fantastically chill stream. It has.
Yeah, I like it.
I've been enjoying this.
And some of our rhythm games are really intense, which is fine. Those are fine. But I do like having a chill Sunday sometimes. Ah, I need to do a longer jump there. That's my issue. Okay, come on. There we go.
You got there. I don't know. I think if we were to do custom cheer, or if I were to do custom cheer emotes, I'd probably just use different currency symbols. starting with real ones and then working into fictional.
No, you wouldn't start with the fictionals?
I mean, like, I'd want double dollars to be the highest level. That was always my favorite from Trigun. And then the Wulong from Cowboy Bebop. Imperial credits. Republic credits. Pokebucks says Catalysmic Reverb.
Bells for New Leaf, although you're not really an Animal Crossing fan.
Ducats.
I think I would go with magical girl items.
That's not a bad idea.
But
things that can be pooped out of a cat's butt.
Isn't that just poop?
I mean,
pretty sure that's just poop.
Well, if magical girl items are made of poop, then I guess that's up to the magical girl to deal with.
Oh, you're talking in the sense of Luna. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed the reference.
I know. Not all magical girls have cats, and not all magical girls' cats have butts that produce magical items.
The vast majority of magical girls don't actually have cats.
I know, it's...
Oddly enough.
It's because they're not actually witches. Except for Sally.
Ah, yes.
Oh, Canadian Tire... Jeez, Derek, that's actually a strong one.
What's that?
Canadian Tire money.
What, is the Beaches channel all of a sudden?
No, like just the little guy from it. Ah! Ooh. I'm wondering what this guy's deductible must be like, that he's not just stopping to trade insurance, but instead is trying to just kill you after you damage his spaceship.
I don't know how to respond to that, so I'm choosing not to.
Sorry, it is a bit out of left field. We don't generally talk about insurance rates and deductibles here on Rhythm Cafe.
Well, it's just I don't know what the insurance rate for this region would be like in the first place. I don't know if I don't know if he qualifies for insurance when he's the one who's attacking me.
Are we on a graduated plan? Is this a no-fault insurance?
I don't know how long
district?
he's been driving for. If he gets extra off for that.
Or how long he's just been driving this session? Like, could he just be really tired?
Does he have glasses? I can't tell. Is he on his home planet? Does he have to get travel insurance for this vehicle? There's so many unanswered questions, Ian. Is this a work vehicle?
That could be a real problem. In that case, we're just hindering him in doing his job?
Well, I mean, we might be his job.
Also there, because I don't know what that collection of gears and boxes identifies. Ugh.
Come on.
There we go. Cataclysmic Reverb says it's obviously piloted by a lathe. Oh, okay. VM Kid actually comes in with some actual information for us. That thing's name is Minigron Timbobtot.
Come here. No.
Oh no!
I was hoping it would come down and I would jump it like coincidentally.
You touched it with your not feet.
Again, Ian, we call that a head. Or a face. There's too many categories of things that can count as not feet. It's not specific enough.
Yep. But it is accurate.
I cannot complain that that is not inaccurate. I think I said that sentence probably. Ignoring it now.
I think so. No, we're not going to roll it back. Move forward.
Ever forward.
Ever forward jump kicking. If I ever form a dojo, that will be the official motto.
Ever forward.
Jump kicking. Okay, protect your neck. You got him!
He's gonna be a 3-hit, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, where are those going?
I mean, hopefully not inside of you.
I have to jump all of them, don't
I? Darkmoor Forward, this weekend the TTSF is going to be the Tofu Spectacular, so get ready for that.
The tasteful, terrific tofu. The tofu-tacular.
The tasty, terrific tofu-tacular tutorial. Aha! Got
yeah, there we go. It's you and Kathleen, isn't it?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we're making tofu from scratch, and then Kathleen's going to make show us how to make a tofu stir fry with said tofu.
Is tofu better from scratch?
Some people say it is. I don't know. I'm going to find out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if this was like a first time thing or a thing you've tried before.
Oh yeah, no. This is one of those times where it's going to be a full-on let's try program.
Come on. Come on. Throw me your UFOs.
Good night, Mr. SVD. Thanks for joining us.
Oh no. Okay. There's a slide in there.
Probably slide jump, slide jump.
Jump slide, jump slide.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I said, but right. Yeah, so the interesting thing is I think we're going to make 2 batches. I'm going to make one using actual soybeans, by making the tofu milk first. And then the second batch I'm going to try making out of commercially available soy milk. I mean, I guess the real question is, Ian cuts his finger while making the tofu, therefore giving the tofu a taste for meat.
No. That's weird. That's real weird. Come on. No.
Oh no! You
jumped instead kicked.
did the touch thing.
Got really good at the jump kicks.
And it makes you want to do them all the time, right?
Right? Yeah. There's this thing that happens where you're like, yeah, I'm into this pattern.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you figured it out, have you? Well.
I've just learned this. I've learned this new thing. I need to use it everywhere. Melody, we're going to go with dried beans for it.
Are you going to make anything other than just the stir fry? By which I mean, are you going to try to infuse some of it with flavors to do like dessert tofu?
Oh no.
Because I maintain dessert tofu as a trap.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be any better, even if it's made from scratch.
No, tofu to me is not a dessert food. But what I will probably do is I'll probably do a hiyayako tofu to just do the taste test initially. Just drizzle a little bit of soy sauce on top, maybe some ground up daikon.
Wasn't gonna get my mega.
A little bit of ground ginger. Cuttlefish Man apparently likes dessert tofu though.
I'm not against it in the terms of like.
Well, sorry, they don't say they like it. They say it's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I've tried it a couple of times, and the reason I don't like it is because it doesn't taste the way I think it should. When it's like, oh, this tastes like whatever flavor, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And to me, it just tastes like a weird watered down flavor.
To me, it feels like one of those
No,
things
why
where
can't I get all now?
where you're trying to make tofu taste like other things, which is always a failure. Tofu tastes like tofu, and let it taste like tofu. Let the tofu be true to itself, and you'll be much happier for it.
Let the tofu be true to itself so that it can be true to you. Come on. I really want to defeat this boss before James takes over.
Well, we've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like the flying saucers are going to be that.
Yep.
What just happened there?
And up, down, up.
Yeah.
Probably up, down, up, down. 'Cause I'm betting there were 4 of them.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
See if I can count how many came out. Yep, 4 came out. Yes.
What?
No!
No!
Oh. Okay, I think this is gonna be your last try here, because James is gonna need some time
Nope,
to set up
this
his stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Real run. You gotta get to the full on.
God. I didn't think it would squish me. I was just like, yeah, okay, it's hovering above me, don't jump.
Total hot bullshit. You are completely right there, Darth Vaderix. Oh, you guys didn't know this is the new map for PUBG. It's just a straight line.
Shit, I'd actually play PUBG if this was... I mean, I'd try it out. I probably wouldn't play it for very long. Nothing against PUBG, I just... not my type of game.
Yeah, fair. See ya, Pandal Steve. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for showing up.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
We're coming back to this next week, right?
I thought we had a different game next
We
week.
might have another different game, but we can come back to this at another time.
We could just tell like James we really want to do this game next week.
Going is fine.
Like now or next week?
Oh no, try again.
Okay,
Yay.
let's run it back.
This is the kind of game I would play for like 6 hours
Oh, yeah.
and not even notice.
Sorry?
Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just saying it's the kind of game I could totally do that too,
Huh.
without even noticing. I'd be very happy. I mean, okay, maybe I'd be less happy about streaming this for 6 hours straight.
Oh, okay. Cuttlefish says this might be the last boss, too, so...
Yeah, I mean we have to return to Bit.Trip eventually later because there's other games on here.
Yeah. Okay, so if this is the end of the game, I don't feel so bad for taking so long on that level. One more.
Oh
That's
I mean,
right. It's
we're-
time for
we're-
one more.
We're in the spirit of it.
Oh, okay. VM Kid says this is not the last boss.
No,
No.
this is the boss of this. We're in zone 1. There's
Oh!
3 zones.
Okay, this is the beginning of the game. Okay, I do feel bad about myself now.
I mean, I wouldn't. I threw you in without you getting to learn any of the tutorial parts without the controls and stuff. Also, this is how this game is designed. And I say that having talked to the people who were running the Runner 3 booth. Who were very knowledgeable and quite nice. It's also kind of weird to see the game in 3D.
Ooh.
With 3D models. Oh, I forgot!
Oh no!
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna play until James kicks me out. Because eventually he will. No!
Slide. Nevermore 19913. Yes, most rhythm games require quite a bit of precision.
The amount of precision depends on the game. Some are like, you have to be incredibly precise or they won't let you through. Others are kinder. And man, I'm not getting my rainbow now. Some have a lot of story. Some have no story. Some are really difficult because there's only 6 songs and they were made in like the 90s and they needed to make that game for an arcade.
Yep.
Like a lot of difficult games. Some are difficult on purpose because they know that there are people who enjoy rhythm games at a really high difficult level, and others less so. It's got a good variety in terms of the genre.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed my rainbow butt.
Oh, did you miss one of your?
I missed one of the things, so I didn't get the rainbow.
Your only ultra.
Yeah.
Do you have enough power to defeat him? Them. Yuri. Mr. Lathe.
Get me my rainbow butt. There we go. Everything is good again. I mean, I guess it's really just pink coming out of the butt, but whatever.
Cinnamon, I don't know if I actually finished Incredible Crisis. I should look into that. Because that was a fun game. Nice.
Hey, James.
Alright, Heather. Give it your all. Good. Scrolling.
Get away from me.
Oh.
Yeah.
This game looks like some horseshit.
It is some total
It
horseshit.
squished me from above, and I didn't know it was gonna do it the one time. It was just like, "Ugh." That's okay.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Rhythm Cafe. You know the drill, and I'm sure James is going to go over it as well, but we need to get him on here to set up for...
One more.
Yeah.
The game where they're gonna play the PUBG
Bubbly
thing
shooty booms.
with some people, because what is it? Customs.
Yep. Custom partnering streams. It's going to be fun.
The customs are gonna check you at the border and take all your things.
Please open your bags for James and the the PUBG customs. Don't go away. Don't go away, but we will be going away for just a moment. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Don't forget
For a game of some sort.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.